Warning! If you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly fuck off.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Londoner Calling a Pubcast. As always, I am joined by my co-host Barry. Barry, I'm sorry. Do you want to start with the EPL Cup?
Because Arsenal played before Chelsea. Let's go
about
there.
Porto. All right, so we'll get there. We're going to talk about the weekend that was in the Premier League.
Why do you ask me and then ignore me?
I'm going to give them the agenda. I'm giving them the agenda.
You said, what do you want to talk about? And he fucking went ahead with something
else. I wanted to see if you wanted to start with Chelsea and get it over with. I was trying to be nice. You don't. We'll save it.
No, we'll talk about it. I'm a brave man.
Yeah, you are. You are very brave. So we're going to go with the weekend that was in the Premier League. We have a lovely guest later coming up. Not lovely, he's a Tottenham fan. I'm really trying to be nice. I'm really trying to be nice for Randy. He'll be on the show later talking about Tottenham, their season, what he's got going on, what they have going on. And then, we got a couple funny stories today as well. So let's get into it. We can start with Porto if we want to. Arsenal lost to Porto in the Champions League this past week. It's fine. We got 2 weeks till second leg. Second leg.
You say that
second
until
leg.
the 85th minute back here at the Emirates.
No.
Check
in with 2 weeks from me now, and then I'll be a lot more freaking out. Right?
I didn't watch the game, but it said they were boring. They weren't that.
It was 90% of the game was played in between the two boxes. Porto should have scored earlier, and to be fair, their goal was brilliant. Did they hit the post or something? They hit the post and then missed it just wide. The
goal was a good goal.
Their goal was brilliant. It was beautiful.
Did they seem to stand off him a little bit? I mean, I think somebody had fucking run it in.
You would think, I thought. I mean, it was the last minute, and the thing was, we were about to counter, and it just looked like a moment of laziness, and it cost us. Brutal. But we got back on track this weekend.
But that goalkeeper, I mean, the way he dived to try and get that shot.
Raya?
I was in a strip bar once. I dived once, had to get a pair of panties. Fucking, I got them.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, I did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I don't think you.
Telling you.
That's a proper dive right there.
yeah.
But we did fix it. We can talk. We'll kind of brush over it, but we know what is the big 3 title race. All 3 teams won this weekend. Liverpool beating Luton earlier in the week, and then Man City beat Bournemouth, and Arsenal beat Newcastle.
Tottenham didn't play at all.
Tottenham did not play because they were supposed to play Chelsea, actually.
That was it,
who were playing Liverpool. That Liverpool-Luton result is a recent one because Liverpool...
I wish we had played Spurs.
Yeah, you might have actually won this weekend.
No, not quite. We would have.
I do want to look around the league elsewhere. Man United finally slipped up. Their 4-match winning streak came to an end at the hand of 2 Nigerians, Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi. Big day for Hale Enders. Arsenal Academy graduates were scoring everywhere this weekend.
Was Iwobi from Arsenal?
Iwobi
and
was.
then he went to Everton, did he?
Yes, he went to Everton, then Fulham. His uncle is JJ Okocha. I don't know if you know that.
Who?
JJ Okocha, the legendary Nigerian footballer.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. It's fine. That's just a fun fact that I know because I'm a nerd.
Did he play for Chelsea ever?
I don't think so.
That's
no.
what I don't know.
I know he did play in the Premier League, though, but... I do want to talk about Man United a little bit because we will have our Spurs fan on later, and we will talk about that 4th through 6th, and it's getting really tight now, isn't it? Spurs are getting healthy. They're looking to make a run for it. Man United clearly were on a great run of form, but then Villa again winning this weekend too. So we'll talk to him a little bit more. I'm actually going to table that. I want to save that a little bit more. We'll talk with our Spurs guest about that a little bit later. Big story of the weekend was Everton. They got 5 points for a draw this weekend, technically. Yeah, say Sean Dyche get fired. You got 5 points for a draw this weekend.
They've got another hearing for something else. Not the same charge, but
it'll probably be heard again. But incident. The Premier, for those who don't know, Everton were deducted 10 points this season for breaking fair play rules, basically within the Premier League. This past weekend, the Premier League cheating basically. The Premier League came back this past weekend and said 10 points was too harsh. We're only going to take away 6. Giving them 4 points. That took them from 21 to 25 on the season, and it jumped them 2 places on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but once you give the 10, I don't know, because, if you're a Nottingham Forest fan,
that's
I don't
brutal.
care about Sheffield United and Burnley, because I think they're more or less down, but that's that 3rd place to drop.
If you're the Luton and Nottingham Forest right around them, or
Nottingham
Brentford
Forest have
even.
also got a hearing about to get point deducted.
Well, they've been signing players they have a 30-plus senior players right now, so that's not too surprising to me with the amount of signings they made in recent summers and years once they got to the Premier League. I don't know if you remember when they got here, they signed, everybody. They couldn't even put all their signings on. So I'm not shocked, but them and Brentford are going to be 2 teams really affected by that because that lets Everton right there, jumps them. Also, another team I want to talk about this week because I don't feel like we've been talking about them enough, and they're really, really impressive, and I know our Spurs fan is going to hate them because they did the double of them, but Wolves. And the job that Gary O'Neill is doing after being sacked by Bournemouth, hired by Wolves, no one thought that it was going to be that great. Wolves are 8th. And not only are they 8th, they're 1 point off of 7th and 6th, which is West Ham and Brighton. Right in front of them, it's 38 and 39 and 39. So it's just goal difference, really, basically, and 1 point separating them. Do we think Wolves is a team that could somehow find its way into Europe this year?
I wouldn't think so, but the way they're going, I mean, the fella's doing
They're
great.
having a great year, and they've been in Europe before. They've been in the Europa League
They've
previously.
sold a few players, okay? I don't know who. One of them to Liverpool and some... Anyway. But they've sold a couple of players, this, that, and the other.
Johnson,
But again, they picked up players that no one's ever heard of. Well, I haven't.
Yeah.
It doesn't take
Most
much. I didn't even know
fans
that
haven't heard
Nigerian
of.
geezer.
Most fans haven't heard of, yeah.
Yeah, but he... no, he's doing great. I watched him a few times, and I mean, he's beat us 4-2.
I think Wolves are a very sneaky team this year. I
Yeah.
think they're a team to keep an eye on for in that mix with West Ham and Brighton. We don't typically throw Wolves.
I want to see when Wolves play Villa because that's a Midland derby.
Yeah, that's going to be a classic, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
I think that I want to give them a little love because I feel like we've kind of been, and that might be on myself as well. I've kind of just put them aside.
No.
I really want to give Wolves a lot of credit. I think that they are a very sneaky team.
Okay, and then they kind
do
of
with
messed up
Luton.
a little bit,
Yeah,
and then
they did.
Wolves have taken over that little bit of, we're going to pick one team a week to give some
One
love
team that
to.
we like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We do have to talk about it. We do have to get there now. We're here. We're going to talk about the EPL Cup final.
Okay.
Chelsea Liverpool, brutal game, 1-0 Liverpool. How does it this is not the first time that Liverpool's beaten you in a cup final recently. So how is it, as a Chelsea fan, do you react to this game?
I watched the game. We started off poorly. We looked nervous and
It's a cup final.
Is that
You got
that
some young
Gusto?
kids. Gusto, yeah.
every
Malo
time
Gusto.
he caught the ball, his first touch was ridiculous under his foot.
He likes to go. He likes to go, yeah.
A few times I thought, for fuck's sake, control it. Pick it, catch it with your hands. I don't give a fuck at this stage. Just control it.
He's no Reece James, but he's trying, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so I was watching him and got that. And then as the game went on, second half, I thought we should have won it. We had the chances.
you should have won it.
I know we should have won it. Now, what I'm pissed off about, and I've read so much stuff about Liverpool and the teenagers they put on. They put on how many? 3, maybe 4?
Yeah, they brought on some kids at the end,
They put on 4. It was right near the end. And I think Klopp just given that it's going to go to penalties. I think he even thought that at that time. And if we lose it, it's...
Well, the
it
thing
gives
was, going into extra time, like that last bit of the second half, Chelsea was on the front foot, dominant. I thought Gallagher could have had a hat trick.
Yeah, but he ran himself to the ground.
Oh, he worked his
And there's
ass
a couple
off,
of other players that looked exhausted. I
Enzo,
think he should have swapped
yeah.
some out. Yeah, he should have swapped a few out just to get that. He might have put teenagers on the pitch, but they were fit enough to do the running. Okay, and if you check this, I bet you didn't. The average age of the team, Chelsea was younger.
Chelsea was younger.
And all,
Yeah, I did
all
check
the
that,
papers
actually.
are going on,
I think Liverpool was 24.1 years and Chelsea was like 23.7 or something, so you were actually younger.
They're saying he put on all these teenagers. It's like we played against fucking kindergartens.
No.
They had enough players on that field to do what needed to be done for the time
Yes.
they had.
Yes.
So, yeah, they won it. Fair and square, you won it, okay? Fucking lucky. And,
We're gonna talk about that lucky because I did do a little stats. Chelsea's last 6 domestic cup finals,
I know.
they've lost all of them. And if you look at them, 2019 on penalties to Man City, FA Cup to Arsenal in regulation, to Leicester 1-0 from the screamer from Tillmans. I don't mean to breathe this. 2 PK losses to Liverpool in the same year, FA Cup and EFL Cup, and then this extra time loss to Liverpool.
I mean, you probably don't believe it, but we've lost on purpose.
Really?
We don't have any more room in our trophy cabinet.
Yeah.
I mean, I said, fuck it, win it, give it to Tottenham. I mean,
Yeah,
we
they
don't
could
really
use it.
need
They
the
could
cup.
use it,
We
yeah.
don't need the cup.
You don't need the cup. You just happen to lose 6 in a row.
It was horrible. I mean, to win
I'm
like that and then
sorry,
to read it, I mean, that... Why is nobody marking him? I know he ran...
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Every Chelsea player turned around and screamed at Mikhailo Mudryk because he did not mark Van
The
Dijk.
fella's fucking 2 foot high.
Well, he didn't jump. He
I
didn't
know.
even put him off or try to set him off. And, I mean, fair play to Van Dijk. He was brilliant on the day. I thought he was one of his best
If you're going to
performances.
get a corner, make sure someone marks him.
He's
Out of all the
6'4".
players-
He's the biggest player. I think he's...
Yeah.
Okay, this is bold. I think he might be the greatest center back that Prem's ever seen. I think he might be the best in Prem history. If not, he's top 3 minimum. I agree. I think it's tough. So my question for you now as a Chelsea fan, where do you go from here? And I'm not trying to be a dick here, but like let's be real. Other than the FA Cup, the season's more or less over in February unless you can really go on a run and compete for Europe.
We just got to keep playing. I don't care what's over, what you win. It's not about winning now. It's about forming a team to get ready for next year.
So would you stick with Pochettino? Are you sticking on board
They
with
can't
him?
keep changing the manager.
That's what I
I
think
read
too.
something again that he hasn't done a lot. Most of them, I don't know how many players he actually bought for that team.
That's the thing too. He's
And when
coming
you're
in.
a good manager, you should be able to go in at least like Tottenham did it. They knitted the team together. with a lot less.
Yeah.
Okay.
They let Postecoglou get the players he
I'm
wants.
sure he's got the skill. I don't know how much interference he's getting from upstairs at Chelsea, and that's what pissing me off or scared me. Just fucking leave him alone. Pay him the money, let him get on with it.
Yeah, I saw a tweet saying Roberto De Zerbi, the Brighton manager, was linked to Chelsea, and someone was just like, why did Bowley not just buy Brighton? If he's gonna buy Potter, if he's gonna buy Caicedo, if he's gonna buy the rest of their players, he's gonna buy Cucurella, Caicedo, Graham Potter, he might as well buy De Zerbi. Just go buy the club.
And the goalkeeper.
Yeah, the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. Good shot. Yeah,
I've done your job again.
Yeah, you did. You got me on that one. I did not think of Sanchez. Well done. Fair play to you. But yeah, why didn't he just go buy Brighton if he loves Brighton that much? He's already been giving him all his money since he got to Chelsea. Today we have Tottenham fan. Randy, thank you for joining us, being here on the podcast with me and Barry. So, Randy, tell us a little about yourself and how you kind of came into Tottenham. That's the first question we always ask everybody. So, tell us about how you fell in love with Spurs and made that mistake.
Of course, lifelong football fan. As a kid, I was actually a Milan fan.
Okay.
Based on Maldini, Nesta.
Okay, so AC Milan,
I'm a defender myself. Mm-hmm. My CEO is British, and as we started working together and growing up together with his son, he started encouraging me to watch EPL and get into EPL, and they're West Ham. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, I don't want to be a West Ham fan.
Smart.
And why?
Because I didn't want to be on the same team as them.
You want to have your own. You want to have your own thing. I get that.
It was right about the time that Sheringham and Klinsmann came over.
Okay.
And so I was like, I kind of want to be a team that's not, Man United or.
Yeah,
so
at the time.
I just said, he goes, you can go ahead and choose a London team. You want to? He goes, choose a big city team because you might be alone a lot if you don't.
Wow, you had such a great chance to pick the right team.
Right, exactly,
you had a great chance to be wearing a pretty cool jersey like I am.
I did. At that time, I just said, I like the way these guys play, and I watched a couple games, and I was like, all right, I'm in. I'm going to be a Tottenham fan. So
how many times have you said I like the way they play since then?
This season.
We'll get there, yeah.
So about 90, I guess 94, 95.
Okay, yeah, so you've been like 30 years following this team.
Yeah, and...
have they won anything since you've been supporting them?
Nothing. No, League Cup.
That means nothing. Yeah. No one cares about that.
No one cares about that.
But yeah, you would have cared about the League Cup a lot.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but we talked about the League Cup earlier in the episode.
Yeah, so
okay,
I was kind of
about the Champions League, Porto.
Half Tottenham fan for a while. I still like Milan. I'm still a Milan fan. Tottenham is the number one team, of course, now because I follow EPL. Mm-hmm. At that time, I'd have to admit that Italy was a better league.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Talent-wise?
Yeah, and the teams were better, and all around they were just a better league to watch. Mm-hmm. So based on some friends who had satellites and stuff, I was able to watch some Italian league games growing up. Mm-hmm. But then, EPL got some better TV coverage, and of course the internet blew up. And from there, I just kind of grew into a pretty everyday, 100% Tottenham fan.
Yeah, so...
And the EPL out now, you place that above the Italian league to watch?
That for sure. And I'd say probably when United won the treble, that was like a turning point, I think, in the league. Mm-hmm. At that point, players who started to go, well, I'm not going to go to Milan and Inter again. I'm going to go to United and Arsenal, and I'm going to play for, in the big spotlight, I guess is what they put it. But it's definitely a better league now.
It's a shame Tottenham couldn't play in the Italian league. They would have been in one of the better shit teams in Europe.
Yeah, they might have won the Champions.
Okay. Hold on. Y'all had your chance, all right? It took you 2 minutes to concede a penalty to Liverpool that day. I know, that was a bad call on Sissoko, but we can move on. So you talked about... I joked about how you said this year you feel like it's more fun to watch the football Tottenham are playing. Is it just Ange Postecoglou that's come in, and are you fully behind him and his identity?
100%.
I feel like a lot of Tottenham fans are, because I'm friends with some other fans, and they just cannot get enough of him.
I'm 100% behind him because I was brought up playing football in a system like that. Mm-hmm. I'm a really fast defender, and I would have shined in this. Just go. My coach was like, Randy, you could just go and do what you want. And just get back when you need to. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And, now it's like that's exactly what those outside backs do. You can end up in the box.
Yeah,
they're in the box. They're hanging
Pedro
out in
Porro and Udogie. Yeah,
so yeah, just high. Not even the higher press. Just everyone can go, and that makes it exciting because it gives everyone freedom. And you have to be fast.
Do you think that this is tangible to be able to potentially compete with at this point, it's a 3-horse race, Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal? Do you think that you can, under Postecoglou, make that jump? Because let's be fair, between those top three and the rest of the league right now, there is a little gap. I don't think that you guys are actually. I can't believe I'm saying this. I said earlier, but I predicted y'all to finish 4th this year. I think that you could still sneak into that top 4, jumping Villa, and keeping Man United at bay. Do you think that's realistic? Or I guess if I was saying this, I feel like I've been yapping for a second. But what's success to you this season with a first-year manager?
Success would be great to make the top 4.
Champions League is success for you?
Would be success, yeah, absolutely, because of all the injuries we've had. And right now, I feel like it's the beginning of the season again. Everyone's getting healthy again. Madison and Betancourt getting healthy again. They're still kind of rusty. I can see it. But the next couple games, hopefully, we'll see if we can make a push. I think I wish we would have signed maybe another striker, but I didn't see anyone out there who was jumping out. Cheap enough, or Richarlison's still scoring. He's scoring goals.
He's finally starting to score goals this year.
So we're kind of like,
took him a year,
Son
but he got
comes
there.
back. But yeah, I think that would be a major success if we can get to top 4.
Would you be content?
Even you said that you actually don't mind watching Spurs this year.
I don't. I think that they've played some really fun football. I think that this is the first.
Now, I'll be honest with you, they actually are good to watch.
They are.
But the only thing I hate when I'm watching them, I always give the same reaction.
What do you mean?
When they score a goal, oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
I think I like the way the Spurs play offensively. I think defensively they're a little naive with their high line, especially like we saw against Chelsea.
You have to be fast.
And the thing is, there's a lot of speed in the Premier League, and I think that has led to y'all on some counters this year conceding a little more than you should. I think there's a process with Postecoglou. I really do like the energy he brings to your club. I think it's going to take a little longer than Spurs fans think, but I do think he is the right man to lead y'all forward.
Does he play like that Leeds manager they had, Bielsa? Whatever?
Jesse March?
Bielsa.
Bielsa
played like 6 midfielders.
Yeah.
But Postecoglou plays what I would call just like the like a total football. The wing back, not wing backs. The forwards allowed to go. He leaves the 2 center backs by themselves. On the island. That's why Van de Ven's the fastest player in the league now. He's faster than Kyle Walker. Yeah. If he doesn't play on the field, we're a little bit in trouble. You better have another guy that fast, so when it goes long, he can just chase it down. And other than that, you just have to have the speed.
Forward in the EPL that they'd have to come up against?
The fastest in the league right now? Probably Adama Traore at Fulham.
You think so?
Yeah,
I would say one
fastest.
of your boys is pretty fast.
Martinelli's
pretty fast.
Martinelli's faster than Saka. Martinelli's faster than Saka. Martinelli is rapid. I don't know if you saw when we played Liverpool, him and Trent had just a straight. Wasn't close. Close.
It's almost like who puts the fear of you when you're running that fast. Yeah. And I don't think there's that many strikers who are that fast who make you scare you. It's the other ones. It's this the guys who are really in control. The
What's it like being a Tottenham fan? And I mean it, having all this hope every season. I suppose all fans have it, but every season they have this.
I think it's a little different. Games. It's a little different for Tottenham.
It is this year, but up until now, it's all this. Oh yeah, we're going to do it, and I'll play through the season. Oh fuck it, it's over.
I'm a little more pragmatic about it. I thought just because getting a coach didn't scream success to me, I think it gave us a higher profile, which in the end might have backfired. Because then the expectation for the next coach was, what are you going to do? I didn't mind Mourinho so much, but I thought Conte was a capital C-U-N-T.
Yeah.
He railroaded our young players. You can see the difference. 3 players in the field who didn't play for him, player now, amazing. Sarr, Romero, these kids are young, and he just was not a good coach for us.
Yeah.
It's amazing how a change in coach can bring out quite a different player in a player.
It's immense. The coaching difference you can see. I mean, I've seen it in Arsenal when Emery left and Arteta came in. It was like a whole new team. I do think that Spurs... sorry, I want to get back to what you were saying there with Conte. With Mourinho, though, you said you liked him. I'm really curious about this. I always love asking this question as a Spurs fan. You sacked not you, but this club sacked Jose Mourinho right before a cup final against Man City. EFL Cup final a couple years ago. You lost that final. Jose Mourinho is a specialist in cup finals. What did you think of the club's decision to sack him literally right before he got you to
I thought
that
was... I don't say it was irresponsible, because it's almost like if he was like an interim coach, someone who's a former player, you do it because you have to do it. But he's a high-profile coach.
Well, he's one of the best, legendary.
Good record in finals. I thought if he loses the final, then you have a better excuse to fire him.
Of course.
If he wins the final, then you say, thanks for the trophy.
Finally.
Yeah. So I don't think that was a great idea. Unless something happened in the locker room where they were like, get him out of here.
That's what I was thinking.
It has to be. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the players came together and were like, we don't want to even go on the field for this guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was really the case. I mean, he rubbed some players the wrong way, but if you look at the way he spoke to Dele Alli, he was 100% right.
Yeah, in that All or Nothing documentary that Amazon did on Spurs, where he sits with
You're
Dele.
a lazy guy, and you need
Have you ever been fired?
Have I?
Yeah.
Been fired?
Yeah. You have? Have you ever been fired?
Never.
I got fired once when I was 16.
Okay.
I used to in London. They've got public conveniences, toilets,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are down underneath the sidewalk, and they're all from the Victoria era.
Yeah.
And they're all brass and tile and marble.
Yeah.
And I used to look after one of them when I was 16, and I got fired once because they did an inventory, and they
Okay.
were 2.5 ton of shit short, and they blamed me. Lost my job. Anyway, carry on.
I'm sorry. That was brilliant. Where were we? Mourinho. We were talking about Mourinho. Yeah, I didn't agree with that decision all those years ago. I'd bring it up now, but it was just so odd to me. A team that, obviously Spurs, I'm not trying to take the piss here, but you are trophy deprived. It's been 16 years, 5,000.
Tell him what a trophy is.
What? Yeah.
Tell him what a trophy is.
It's shiny. It's in a little metal. You get to hold it up and celebrate with your team. Or if you're Aubameyang, you'll drop it when you win the FA Cup, apparently. You can try that when you win it sometime, maybe. It's been 16 years, 5,847 days, but literally who's counting?
Might be nicer, I guess.
Like, literally who's counting, though?
I lost count.
No, well, I didn't. Again, 5,847 days, 16 years as of 3 days ago. But again, we're not here for that. We're not here to talk about that.
We are.
Yeah, we are. But let's move on. I want to talk a little bit more about with you and the Londoner, because you've been coming to the Londoner for a while. So you talk a little about your experience with the bar and the people, and you've known Barry for a while too.
Correct.
Actually, the Tottenham fans, the main group of them, go to another bar, don't they?
Correct.
So it's not a Jack
It's not this,
but
but you are very familiar with the Londoner.
Yeah,
so
I'm
talk
a
about your
very
experience.
familiar, long-time regular. Been going since the early 2000s. There's not a better place to watch football than the Londoner, honestly. Other states, you go to other states, other places. It's okay, but that's just they got everything you need. All the teams are there. A lot of fans that are just random fans just come to watch the game. It gets packed enough on the big games. The fire marshal shows up, which is scary but funny. But it's a great place to go. There's not honestly a better place to go for football, even other non-football events. But Saturdays and Sundays are always great there. The staff is great. Everyone works hard, and I'm always at the end of the bar, right near the well. That's my spot. And I watch with my fans are Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, my guys. And if I don't go to the pub for a game, I'm at the other place with the Dallas Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you ever get any people coming in off the street, so to speak, watching a game, don't know anything, and you turn them into a Spurs fan? Have you poached anybody?
Yeah, give your, because Barry met someone actually who's looking to get into the Prem, so feel free to give your pitch to why you should be a Spurs fan.
I don't actually pitch that much.
Okay, we got a fella in a coffee bar that I go to. He wants to pick a team.
Yeah.
How would you sell him to be a Spurs fan?
Yeah.
I'd say, do you want to watch the most exciting team in football right now?
You turn on Arsenal.
You turn on Tottenham. I just think that.
I mean, basically, you have to try and sell them on the future, don't you? Which,
yeah, I mean,
you can
there's
do
a lot of upside.
A lot of youth.
And
a lot of youth
we're a big city team, so you have London there. The fan base is pretty large. Our supporters club is huge. There's a lot of, again, upside to being a Spurs fan. There's a lot of things that we do that are good. We have a lot of really high-profile players, good quality players, good players to follow, good role models like Son. So especially if you have kids, things like that, you want to follow a good team. You want to follow a team that's got potential to go somewhere and not, a perennial fan.
You're not glory hunting. Yeah.
We're not glory hunting. That I think our team is a good one to choose.
And never will be.
Well, I think
Never
we're
know.
a striker or two away and a couple of high-profile players away from pushing for,
I'll tell
Champions League issue.
you the main reason why you shouldn't become a Spurs fan.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll never ever be able to pronounce your manager's name.
Ange Postecoglou.
There
How was
we
that?
go.
Was that good?
I mean,
It's very good. That's
can you,
perfect.
I can't. I won't even.
That's
attempt
okay.
it.
Barry can't even pronounce his own name sometimes.
Sometimes. That depends.
I want to ask him something. So, years ago, Sol Campbell. Okay.
Judas.
See, there we
Legend.
go. Judas moved from Spurs to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Pat Jennings did the same thing, but he goes back to handshakes and hugs.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Sol Campbell won the double.
Saul Campbell was on a free and kind of shyly didn't say anything and then snuck off, with his head under his tail under his butt to run over to Arsenal. And
I don't know. He had his hands pretty high when he was celebrating winning the Prem at your home
Judas.
stadium, actually.
Judas. My favorite thing was the
when he was
situation.
licking the "We're the Champions" sign at White Hart Lane.
And was it in Mexico last year? He was in a resort of eating lunch, and some Tottenham fan was like, Judas. He got all pissed. And
you gotta love how it's still going though.
Yes.
Right?
I was like, that would totally be me. I would be the one person standing up going, Judas.
I tell you what,
I think
I'll say it and run.
I think the Sol Campbell.
100%. I mean, yeah.
I think Sol Campbell's so different too because of the way the transfer happened. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the story, but it was Arsene Wenger was the manager of Arsenal at the time, and he was set for a press conference, and he was supposed to announce some very young signing, unknown player. I believe there was only a handful of media even in the room. Like, no one expected. This was a very minor event. We're signing a youth kid. This is what everyone thinks is great. Wenger walked out with Sol Campbell next to him, and the room went crazy. In a black, and every reporter who wasn't there is probably sitting there shitting themselves, like, "Oh my God, we're missing the biggest."
The Arsenal fans loved it.
So here's the thing.
It's a legendary moment for us.
I think in football, there's Luis Figo going from what?
Yeah, Real Madrid and Barcelona.
They hate him.
Yeah.
But in American sports, there's I'm a Yankees fan. One of the greatest Red Sox of all, Wade Boggs, came to the Yankees and won a World Series. They don't hate his guts because he was like an older man. He was nice about it. Kind of hard to be nice about it, but it was like he didn't get his brain torn off.
Pat Jennings, actually, he went to Arsenal because the manager at the time, Keith, I forget his name, he thought he was at the end of his career, so he let him go. He didn't want to leave, but they let him go, and he went to Arsenal, and he had some good years.
Doesn't happen very often.
No, you really don't see players switch between our two clubs.
No,
like,
I can't even think of a...
Even into retirement, I've seen players interviewed, like Ozil not recently, but years ago was interviewed, and they said, would you go play for Spurs if they offered you a contract? And he goes, I would simply retire before I went and played for them. And I'm sure you have Spurs players that would say the same.
There's a lot of players who went on to bigger clubs like Berbatov and players like that who would say, what happens if they would have gone... He's like, no.
No, you don't do that.
I wish Kane would have gone to...
No, even I remember a video... Well, Kane started at Kane started at Arsenal, you know that, right?
We were talking about Harry Kane before we came on here, so you wish him bad?
No. He's the all-time greatest striker. He did never a bad thing for us.
Do you think he's the best striker ever in the history of the Premier League?
No. I think that Rooney and Henry have enough on him, whether it be trophies. Even though Henry never scored a goal in a major final.
Oh no!
He still carries the trophies.
He only won multiple Golden Boots and Invincible, right?
So he's never scored a goal in a final.
No, he didn't score in finals.
Didier Drogba, on the other hand,
he's the man for scoring in finals.
I think Rooney has to be on Sunday. Huh? Rooney has to be up there because Rooney did everything. Yeah. And even though he kind of wasn't a pure striker, moved kind of into a different role later, I still think he's considered a forward.
I'm thrilled that Kane left y'all for obvious reasons as to we don't have to watch him score on us every single time. But also now I can finally, as an Arsenal fan, admit how fucking brilliant that guy is. He is one of the most best complete center forwards in the modern game. His ability to drop deep, pass the ball, collect it on the turn, shoot, you name it, he's got it.
I know it's never easy.
So I can finally say that now that he's no longer with y'all.
I know it's never easy to score, no matter what league you're in. Is it easier for him in the Bundesliga?
Yes. The
100%.
Bundesliga defenses will play much higher lines in the Premier League. The amount of goals in the Bundesliga compared to the Prem, where most teams will sit with deep blocks, is.
I think the great example is Eric Dyer leaving Spurs because he's too slow to play for our system. Goes to Germany, plays 4 or 5 great games, clean sheets, looks great because they don't have the speed up top. They play a different system, and honestly, there's not that many strikers in the German league who put any fear to defenders.
I'll put it this way: Jadon Sancho at Dortmund, Jadon Sancho at Manchester United, right?
Yeah.
Look at, and that's just one example, but look at what he was doing at Dortmund with the goals and assists and double-digit figures.
What about the other way around? How's Werner doing?
He looks great for us, but he's not. He did exactly what we got for him. He wanted to just run the field.
He's on the left flank a lot. He
run the field.
His finishing is where it left picked up at Chelsea, basically, from what I've seen.
But for us, it's perfect because when you're a defender, you're like, shit, I got to go chase that guy. And especially since we missed Son.
Is he perfect because you don't expect much being a Spurs fan?
Pretty much. I think he's a great example of low expectations, high upside. No, but I think it was a good pickup for us, and I'd hope he can score a couple goals. And if he's not too expensive, I think he fits as a good bench player for us.
Have you been to the new stadium? Have you been?
No, I've actually never even been to the old stadium.
Okay, I went to White Hart Lane once.
How was it? Where'd you go? For what game?
Shithole. What?
Yeah, Shite Hart
Chelsea
Lane.
were playing Spurs. What do you mean, what game?
Chelsea used to call it 3-point lane. That's what John Terry said.
Yeah, they did. Not when I was going there. It wasn't like that. Then we had a certain time when.
What was it like when you went there? Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was probably the 40s
I
or
think
50s.
we lost that day.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow. You should have
No,
done more.
at one time when I'm more 70s when I used to watch, as I said, Tottenham when I was 11, they beat us in the cup final and I cried my eyes out and I've fucking hated them ever since.
That's so real.
In fact, not only do I hate them,
real.
not only do I hate Tottenham, I hate you as well, Randy, mate.
Feelings mutual.
Randy, it's not enough that it's not enough that we're bashing your club.
Right.
Let's get personal here. All right.
Mutual.
So we talked about Spurs and everything. Let's wrap this up here. What is it going to take in your eyes for you guys to make that step to get a trophy, to win something? What is it? Is it just time with Postecoglou? Is it a profile that you need?
It's the concept of.
Is it a mentality thing? Do you think
it's getting better? The mentality is the whole concept of what Postecoglou
being
brings
Spursy
is
and choking games away?
No, it's not. It's a couple things. We need a better. I say a better bench.
Depth.
We need a little more depth of higher profile players. So
if you could bring in one player to Tottenham this summer, who would it be?
Kane.
Kane.
It's a good player. He got a lot of club experience
honestly,
there. Knows the area well.
I'd like a really, really creative number 10, like a Madison.
Another one?
But a lot more like, maybe a... I'm trying... I'd like... Here's one. I would take Rafinha.
From Barcelona?
Yep.
Really?
I would.
Okay.
I think he's a perfect fit for us right now. He's not going to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to be 50 million.
Would he start over Kulusevski for you?
Yes, because Kulusevski is great, but he is so left-footed.
Yeah, he's very one-footed.
And also late in the games, he drifts to the side and then just gets lost in no man's land.
Okay.
And it drives me crazy sometimes because he plays with it. I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, just keep whipping it in.
Yeah.
And I'm just one of those guys who has the foot to shoot from a distance.
Yeah, no, he can shoot.
And especially with Richarlison in there, just whip it in. And so I think that's why he gets
Don't keep
subbed
saying
out.
whipping, because I was with some bird a few weeks ago. Bringing back memories. No, I mean, we'll go on to that story if you want.
Yeah, I would start over Kulusevski definitely, and I think the kid Brennan Johnson's.
I think he's been a good signing. I think he's a good signing.
He puts himself in good positions. Mm-hmm. His crossing is a little, but just upgrades where those guys who think they're going to start, it's not solid every week.
And you think that Postecoglou is the man to go compete
100%.
with a Pep Guardiola, a Mikel Arteta, or potentially Xavi Alonso at Liverpool next year, right?
Yes, we just need to keep the depth, and we need to get rid of some of the,
some of the dead weight.
Yeah.
Some players like Perisic, who's not really playing much, and he's getting older in age on some really high wages and stuff.
I think we sold him back to split.
I think the only way that Tottenham are going to win anything if they change their shirts to red or blue.
That would
maybe
be
even
nice.
change the name.
They have alternate shirts. I've seen them try it, Barry. I've seen them try it.
Well,
I think we're going to be all right. I mean, I honestly...
I actually hate to admit it, but I think you're right.
Tell you what,
it was looking really weird for a while. But we do have... The things that we do have, we got good revenue. We got a nice stadium. Our fan base is getting larger. So those things that a lot of clubs don't have. Clubs like West Ham, who I think are going down, which for a London club, I thought they would go up. Their stadium is shit. No one shows up.
They're selling their best players.
Right. That kind of thing is scary.
Your Levy, is it?
Daniel Levy, yeah.
You've got to give him credit. As much as a lot of you hate him, he keeps it. He runs it like a business.
He does.
It's definitely
he doesn't seem to overspend.
It's definitely a business as compared to like Man United or Man City, where you just see checks
Have they got
flying.
much debt or no debt? I'm sure
We're
some debt.
we're the number one revenue team in the season. I saw it last week. It came out.
Yeah.
And we make pretty good money. And I think that I'm ready for them to overspend once. Or
Yeah,
twice.
I think that y'all need to kind of go make that, if you will, Declan Rice signing.
Hey,
That
it's not
we're
gonna
going to
be
go
hard,
splash
or,
cash.
I mean, like splash. I would splash money on the kid from Italy, Osimhen.
Osimhen?
Oh,
You're
Napoli.
With all due respect, you're not.
Right,
You're not the caliber of his player.
That's the kind of money that I would be
But
willing
I think
to spend.
the thing for y'all that I think you need is if you want to go get those Declan Rice, Osimhen, 100 million pound players, you have to be in the Champions League.
Exactly.
He is so frugal.
Yeah, he is.
He bought a fucking pint of Guinness he'd overspend. Telling you.
He is very frugal, so I think that y'all, this season's very important for Spurs in my opinion, because I think you need Europe. Even if it's not Champions League, you need Europe. And then you can start recruiting based off of your caliber, and then you get to level up. Because right now, being out of Europe, it makes it less attractive to go to Spurs at the moment. But again, you're fighting your in amongst those places. Even if you get just Europa League next year, it's a better it's a better platform to start on.
They need it for the experience anyway, the Europa
They do.
League or something. So do Chelsea. But I read something the other day that said Chelsea, if they got in it, they wouldn't want it. They said it would lose money for them.
For the Europa League?
Yeah, I don't know what they mean by that. But
maybe
plus the players need the experience.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's also really good for the low. I know that you're on the conference league a couple of years ago. It didn't work out, but it's good to give youth players experience in Europe as well. So that way, when they grow up, they have a little know-how what a European night is, right?
Correct. If we were in Europe this year, it would be in trouble. With
Yeah.
all our injuries, we'd
Yeah,
have
you
to
would
play
have
a
had it too
youth
thin.
team the whole time, and it wouldn't have been fun.
he'll tell you this because you can go back on some of these podcasts that no one ever listens to. I picked Villa to come fourth
He
ahead of
did.
you lot.
I picked y'all.
We'll see. I think Watkins is playing a
He's
little
out
better
of his
than
mind. Douglas
he's-
Luiz too.
than he can.
Mhm.
We'll see if they can stay. They have a tough schedule. We have a pretty, I want to say easy. We have a run of like 4 games in April,
Yeah,
and
that's.
then we play kind of the bottom tier teams towards the end of the season. So
You have a run in
Don't
April
want-
of Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
And then,
But
and then
then-
after that,
And
we
Chelsea,
have
I
like
think.
Forest, Burnley. Like it's one of those.
Yeah, it
we
should
finished the
should
season.
win type thing.
Burnley
right?
and Sheffield United should have been down by then anyway.
They're already in
Well,
the
we've
championship.
already
Top
played
of it.
Wolves twice, so we're not going to lose again to them. And Brighton and Wolves are the ones that gives us trouble.
You beat Brighton this year. You did beat Brighton. So let's see. Let's wrap this year. What's your final standing prediction for Spurs? What do you think this year? Where do you finish?
I don't think we're going to go down. Meaning, I think we're going to stay in 5th.
I agree. I don't
I'd
think we
like
go to the
push for
championship.
4th. I think if we push for 4th, we're going to have to see our 2 midfielders, Betancourt and Madison, start scoring.
Yeah, I think Madison needs to start producing a little bit more. I know when he first came, Spurs fans were, he hasn't lost in 10 games. We were undefeated, everything. And then he got injured, and it just looks like he's not fully himself
No,
yet.
he's not fully healthy either.
No, so I feel like he's being kind of rushed in to try to keep you in that European space. But I like that. I think that's a fair place. You put them at 5th. I put them at 4th. You have them somewhere in between there. I like it. I think we all have. I think that this is, and I don't like saying this, obviously, but this is the most promising I've seen Spurs in a long time. This is the first time in years that I've looked at Spurs and I've been like, they're actually
If
playing.
Tottenham finish 4th, okay, I will buy you 5 pints at the Londoner. And I don't want anything in return.
Let's end on that. Let's end on a 5-pint bet right there.
Well, when I say 5 pint, Miller Lite, not
I was going to say 5
Yeah,
pints
yeah,
of
yeah.
Macallan, 15.
Yeah. We'll end it. You started to write that one up. Well, thank you so much for
thank
taking
you.
time
Thank
and
you,
being
guys.
on the show with
Appreciate
Barry
it.
and I. We really enjoyed coming on. And again, if you guys want to get involved, make sure you can comment anything, ask any questions. We'll be sure to pass it
I
on.
obviously know Randy from the Londoner.
Yeah.
We played soccer at 5-a-side, kick around we used to have.
Told me
That was
you're
fun.
good.
I used to love
He
it.
told
talked you
me
up
you're
a
good.
little bit. I talked you up a little
He
bit.
talked you up, said you're a
What?
great midfielder.
Oh, well, I've nutmegged him fucking 5 times in one game.
All right, we'll call it there. We'll call it there on the 5 nutmegs and 5 pints.
I'm surprised how knowledgeable he was about Tottenham today.
I thought it was great. No, thank you again, Randy, for coming on. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
here.
I appreciate
And
it, guys.
thank you guys for listening.
I looked on my list here. You ever heard of bromide?
Bromide.
You ever heard of bromide?
Nope.
Bromide, something they used to put it in the tea in prisoners in England. Okay, stops you getting an erection.
Okay.
So that's what evidently bromide does that. Well, when I was talking about the market. So I was working down the market one day, and a fella behind me, Gammy,
Yeah.
that's English for gimpy.
Okay.
He got called Gimpy, Gammy, because he used to work in an artificial limb factory. So that was his name, Gimpy. So Gimpy's serving on the stall behind me. This woman came up, short skirt, boobs hanging out, and everything like that. And all the fellas in the market's looking while he's serving the tomatoes, oranges, apples. All of a sudden he looked up and he screamed out, "I think the bromide's wearing off." See, I can't shout that out ever because firstly, but yeah.
Well, first
no
of
one
all, I
knows
don't
what
know
it
if
is.
everyone would understand it, but now that I know what that is, that's
Exactly.
fucking hilarious. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my god.
We talk about on here, and this is a soccer podcast. It's a podcast, soccer, life,
Pubcast, life, everything.
Yeah, everything. It's not just about
Just
soccer.
chatting like
obviously,
you'd at
that's
a
the
bar,
main-
yeah.
Yeah, but we had a few people on here, and they've all said they met in the Londoner, they met their girlfriend, wife, their kids have been at London, they got married at the Londoner.
Yeah.
One thing about the Londoner as well over the years, we've had quite a few people have passed away. And we've had some people, my own brother Blue, I mean, he passed away a couple of years ago, and these were all characters. We had Flat Top, Little Tony, Big Tony, Steve Roundtree, Andy was a die-hard Newcastle fan. Oh, absolutely. And he passed away before Newcastle actually got into Europe. He would have loved it.
Oh
And
my God.
that was all he was.
Could you imagine if you had got to see them beat
poor
PSG
man,
this year
never
when
got
they
to
beat
see it.
PSG?
And then we had another one, Mikey, was a Roma fan.
Yeah.
And, he passed away. There's quite a few people have passed away. So it's not about... We meet a lot of people, but we lose some good ones as well.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that kind of does talk about the Londoner as more of like a family, though. And it really is. Just like it is, like you mentioned, it isn't just a soccer podcast. The Londoner is more than just soccer. It's life. Because you come here for the soccer, but you stay for the people, right? And you mentioned all the people that you meet. I mean, maybe not you personally. I want to, but
I try and treat everybody how I want to be treated. I laugh and mess around and joke. And sometimes I don't feel like that inside. I've got my own problems, as we all have.
Everyone does.
But try and keep them inside. Just go out there and enjoy whatever you do in life. Treat people as you want to be treated.
I love that.
And I'm not saying I do it every time. I mean, no. I try and do that, except my kids.
No one's perfect. No one's perfect.
Kids. I slap them little fuckers. But you're allowed to do your kids.
Yeah, that's true. Those are yours.
But just one of the things about today, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching here, but what with internet and all that, people are so rude.
People are so mean.
I mean, so rude and so mean. I mean, it's like, we were talking about when Saka missed that penalty.
Oh my God, the comments on that. Well, you can talk about not just Saka, any player that has a bad game or something. You know that their Instagram
Would
DMs
you have the balls
are
to do what they do? Okay, they get paid.
Whatever, but to go out there and play. This is not soccer, but again, you know what athlete said I couldn't survive the social media age? Do you know what athlete said that?
No.
Michael Jordan.
I'm sure.
Michael Jordan said I could not go through the abuse of the stuff online because the abuse and it's
people
flooded.
People are chicken shit cowards.
Because it's so easy to type.
I get it. I get it when people complain about something at the restaurant. Just come and see me. Talk to us. We're trying to sort it out. Don't get online and my family put every penny they own into the pubs.
Yeah.
And we just opened this pub and we're behind. We've still got to get going before
we
earn any money if we do. But people get on there and they do a little one-star comment. If it's merited, fine. But just fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
Get online and do that. If I was to come to your job and watch you every minute and see how many stars you get, you stupid wanker.
There you go. Let it out. No, let it out, man. Let them know.
Hey, people talking about being polite. When I worked in the market, we used to get a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
So you're working there and you get a tourist come up, so Oxford Street.
Oxford, okay.
So you turn to the right and you say you go 2 miles down that way until you get to the Dog and Duck. Then you turn left at the Dog and Duck and you go another mile till you get to the King's Head and Oxford Street's right there. That's if they said Oxford Street. Okay. If they said Oxford Street, please, you pointed them to the right direction and gave them the right directions.
There you go.
Everyone did it. Everyone did it. So
crazy.
No matter where you are, please and thank you. Doesn't hurt.
Look at that. Manners with Barry. What an episode today. That should be the title of this episode, by the way. Manners with Barry. Now, Barry, we've been so polite for so long. Let's cut this shit and get to Wanker of the Week,
used to have a girl who used to whip me until I got my manners right.
All right. Jeez. Good Lord. All right. Let's go. Let's keep fast forwarding through that one, actually. I don't want to dive into that at all. I don't even want to. The fact that we're so... there's an image in my head. Stop. All right. I don't want to think about you getting whipped by anybody, Barry. Anyways, Wanker of the Week. We're going to stop that. My producer just cracked a fake whip. Stop doing that. I don't want to have this vision in my head. Anyways.
I've got the Wanker of the Week.
Yeah, you do.
Gary Neville.
Gary Neville. Why Gary Neville?
For saying Chelsea $1 billion bottle jobs. Did you ever hear that one?
I did see him talk about
now,
the $1 billion
a bottle job is if you're being
Tottenham,
a chicken.
yeah.
If you're being a chicken. And I told you bottle and glass is arse. So your bottle's your arse. It's actually when your arsehole goes. When your arsehole starts quivering, you've shit yourself, bottle job.
You're shaking.
That's what it is.
You get scared, you fall.
And he said that $1 billion bottle jobs. And it's
I think that's harsh. I think that's so harsh on the youth on your team. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying Liverpool were missing Salah, Trent, Darwin, Alisson.
We all had injuries.
Everyone has injuries, but I don't think that takes away from the quality Liverpool did have on the field. Look, Connor Bradley's a great right back. Van Dijk was immaculate.
I don't care who they had. Chelsea should have won it, and Liverpool actually lucked out to get that trophy.
Yeah, okay. I think that on the day Chelsea could have won it.
So the part of it was
I think that's just for media clicks and stuff. I'm also going to go with a Man United legend for my Wanker of the Week, Rio Ferdinand. I don't know if you heard this, but he said, and this is the funnier part too of the whole thing, the first part of this theory is that if Bayern Munich were to poach Erik ten Hag because he's so highly coveted in the manager world, that then if Man United decided to make a call to Mikel Arteta, that he would in a heartbeat say yes to Man United and leave Arsenal. Whatever he's smoking, whatever he's on, give me some of that. That's got to be the best stuff in the UK, I swear to God.
I wanted to ask this. I wanted to ask Randy as well. Which fans are the ones that give you the fucking right ump? Which fans really aggravate you the most and always will do?
I think that... Okay, Tottenham, just because I hate Tottenham. I can't stand Tottenham.
Is it because of how the fans talk or how they act?
It's the fact that I dislike them so much, I don't like seeing them celebrate or be happy. Like, I just don't
Mine
like
are
that.
Manchester United fans.
I get
because
that.
I've got that. Look, over the years, I've seen Liverpool win, and lose, obviously some, but they've won. They've been up there.
Mm-hmm.
Man United, but the Man United fans always seem so cocky. They're still cocky, and look at
They're
them.
still cocky.
They're actually lucky to be where they are. They're lucky to have won that many games this year. Talking about that, I've had all this Liverpool shit this week, okay, and they've been giving it to me.
Of course.
Okay.
As you would them, to be fair, if the result was
don't worry.
flipped.
That's all in the back of
Yeah,
my brain.
just
You
wait
wait
for
next season.
next year.
You wait next year.
Lucky number 7 in the cup final, baby. Number 7, that's the one. But no, I agree. I thought that was just
in general, they got a new manager. They got to try and produce what they produced over the years. It took a few years to get where they are now, anyway. Just wait till next year. Liverpool, wait, you scouse bastards.
That's right. But I agree. I think I just thought Wanker of the Week, Rio Ferdinand and Gary Neville, a pair of teammates, if you will, for Wanker of the Week from us. So that'll do it from us. Once again, if you guys are interested in the podcast, or actually no, I do want to promote this. Your friend, we'll talk about it with Randy about your friend who's looking for a team. If you're a supporter of a Premier League team, whatever club it would be, feel free to send in a submission on why Barry's friend, the barista, should support your team.
You need to sell him on your team. I don't know how they get in touch with us to do this, to be honest with you.
They can get in touch with us and we can get in touch with your friend.
You need to sell your team.
Why, yeah. So
this
if you're
fella should support your team.
Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Spurs, West Ham, Brentford, whatever team it is.
And if you're a Sheffield United or a Burnley fan, just tell them the truth.
I would love to see that.
Just tell them the truth. Fuck me, you need every supporter you can get. I mean, that'll bring them up to about 10.
They got fans. They have fans. Yeah. They got way more fans. They got fans. They don't have goals. They do not have goals. They do concede a lot of goals. They don't score many.
I'll tell you what, they'll be like Arsenal. If Sheffield United ever get to the top, if they ever get to the top and they start winning, all these Sheffield United fans that you don't even exist at the moment, they'll all come out the fucking closet like your mom.
That's any fan base. That's any fan base. We're arguing. We're gonna wrap. We're done arguing. We'll call it episode there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Come back next week.
Glory hunters.
Winners.